Teclistamab is a BCMA bispecific monoclonal antibody that was developed on the Janssen DuoBody platform and is being evaluated in a first-in-human clinical trial in relapsed refractory multiple myeloma. And what I'm sharing at ASCO are the early results of this study in the dose escalation cohort up to the dose of 720 micrograms per kilogram for safety and 270 micrograms per kilogram in terms of efficacy. The primary endpoints of the study are safety and tolerability and looking at the PK/PD data, but then also looking at efficacy as part of the clinical trial. I'm reporting on 78 patients that have been treated so far with 6 median prior lines of treatment. The vast majority of these patients are both triple class refractory as well as penta-drug refractory, including anti-CD38 monoclonal antibodies, with that making up more than 80% of the population. In terms of safety, we find that the hematologic side effects are similar to what we would expect for this patient population. The AEs of note that are important from this technology perspective are cytokine release syndrome and neurotoxicity. And what we found was only about 58% of the patients had CRS, and all of those events were grade 1 or 2. And then in terms of neurotoxicity, of the 78 patients, we saw neurotoxicity in 6 patients, and of those 4 were grade 1 or 2. So really well tolerated overall in terms of safety. And overall responses, we started to see responses in patients beyond the 38.4 microgram per kilogram dose, but really the 270 microgram per kilogram cohort is where we're seeing a response rate of 67% with 3 patients in CR or better and 6 patients in VGPR or better. And of the 8 patients who've responded, 7 out of 8 were triple class refractory and 5 out of 8 were penta-drug refractory. So fairly refractory patient population responding to these drugs, this particular strategy. So overall what we're seeing is the safety profile looks good. We're starting to see responses. We did not have enough follow-up to actually report on the responses in the 20 microgram per kilogram dose level, but we're hoping that in a subsequent Congress, we'll be able to report more updated data.